Welcome in. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. I am one half of your host and virtual bartender, Mr. Nick Teodoro. Joining me, as always, is my tag team partner in life, my wife, Miss Nicole. What are you having, Nicole?
Oh, you know me. Some Tito's, some cran, some orange. Mr. Nick, tell the people what you're drinking and our three things for the show.
I am drinking my J-Lore Cabernet, Seven Oaks Cabernet, as per usual, as you like to say. CM Punk has returned. The Nick Club gets up close and personal with AEW, and we preview WWE Backlash. It is Friday, May 9th, 2025, and this is the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
To the 3 to the 4. Tell him bring another round when he's ready more. Two stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor. Oh my, good lord. Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack Daniels got a history. There's a party downtown near Fifth Street. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
And welcome back in again. Welcome to the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday, Nicole.
Happy Friday, babies.
If you are new here, welcome in. Smash the old like and subscribe. To our regulars, you know we love having you. Nikki, there is a lot to get to this week. But first, we have some fun announcements. Because we like announcing things.
You love announcing things.
Well, we are headed, well, I am headed tomorrow, but you will be joining us virtually, tending the bar, I should say. Locally getting an end to the for children. But tomorrow, special pop-up show at some point in time, not sure. We are headed, the Nick Club will be at 90s Wrestling Con in Morristown, New Jersey, Men in Sports Arena. There's going to be a lot of our favorites that we grew up watching, Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
Just to name a few: Eric Bischoff, Eazy-E, Ken Shamrock, Mark Henry. You know you love your Mark Henry. Who doesn't love some Mark Henry?
I don't know.
But we got Barry Horowitz, the Sandman, for our buddy Josh. I know he loves his ECW. Who doesn't love some ECW? There's going to be plenty on the agenda, so we are super excited to take part in that. We will be there manning our table. Some of our regulars may be there with us, winning a contest or two. We will be giving away. We've got coasters.
You
We've got.
show it good. Well,
I know I don't show things good.
Mine
at
has
all.
you've got wine on it, but
We've got a bunch of things we are going to be giving away: coasters, koozies, bottle openers, a special package, a Nick Club gift package from the merch store. That is a very exclusive merch store. So we are super excited about 90s Wrestling Con tomorrow. But that is tomorrow, Nikki.
yes,
That is tomorrow.
that is tomorrow.
Let's talk about this past week. We went on adventures. That is tomorrow's adventure. But Nikki, we went on an adventure last Saturday.
We did.
We went down. We took the long road down the Garden State Parkway to Atlantic City. had to end with the
My
infamous waffles that Steven Boat recommended.
Yeah, he said go to this place, and I saw chicken and waffles on the menu, so I had to get it.
So, Nikki, we took the trip down to Atlantic City for Collision.
Yes.
Atlantic City. There were only 2 matches advertised on the night. It ended up being, the main event actually ended up being FTR taking on the Paragon.
The Paragon, which I hate that name.
Kyle O'Reilly and Robert
Roddy.
Strong.
Yeah.
Which was a pretty good match. But overall, what were your thoughts seeing it up close and personal in Atlantic City for the second time?
Again, when we did our quick pop-up show before walking over to Boardwalk Hall, we were kind of saying that, like, thinking Tony shouldn't main because Mox wasn't wrestling. And then her music hit and she ran out like kind of so quick. I didn't have my phone to like take a photo of her like on the ramp because we were super close to the ramp. You can see like the one that I have of Daniel Garcia looks so good because we were like off to the side. But I was sad that she wasn't main. But again, her and Lady Frost had a fun match. I loved her promo afterwards. I loved when she like ran outside of the hall into Atlantic City, and I rewatched that segment back, and it actually makes Atlantic City look kind of pretty because it just shows that one shot of like the going into the ocean. And I was like, oh, Atlantic City could be pretty.
Yeah, no, Tony is absolutely a star, but they gave it to us very early in the night. It's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to open.
Yeah, for sure. To me, the big takeaway was Brody King is a megastar. He needs to get a huge push ASAP. Josh Alexander, not so much. I mean, he's all right, but he's new to AEW. But I don't know. I think
one of the loudest. I don't know if I didn't rewatch this match, but I don't know if you heard it. But like, I feel like in the arena, like, arena is a
he was over as hell.
But there was a huge pop for him, and everyone, everyone. I'm not going to do it, but everyone barks with him, like the oof, But huge pop for him, fun match, Yeah,
no, it was definitely a fun match, a fun evening that we shared, but definitely not as stacked as the Dynamite that we'd seen there.
It was a different room.
Yeah, it was a different room, so it was just a different experience, but definitely a fun night nonetheless. Seems like they stacked Collision for this past Thursday,
and then Beach Break is coming up, so that's going to be a more stacked card, and then you have the cage match with Mox and Joe. And then I got stuck so the second match was the $1 million or $100,000 fatal 4-way between Roosh, who looked like he's so good and he doesn't get enough stuff, but Roosh, Sammy Guevara, AR Fox, and Kevin Knight. So I left during Sammy's entrance. I was like, all right, you got 2 more entrances. There's probably going to be a commercial break. I'm going to use the facilities, grab us some beers, and come back. Then the way I left, the woman who was very rude wouldn't let me back in. She's like, this is for talent only. I was like, then how did I walk out this door? It's literally the door right next to the handicap section. Like, why can't I? Okay. So then I had to go all the way around. And then I went to like start walking, and one of the security women was like, no, you have to stop. And I was like, oh, I need to get my husband's on the other side. Like, I'm in the handicap section.
Josh chimed in, my superpowers wins again. Seats next to the ramp. Exactly. Hey, listen, I suffered so that I could get those seats.
So then she's like, you gotta stop. And I was like, oh, I'm trying to get over there. And she's like, there's gonna be a trash can spot, so you have to stay here. We don't want anyone getting hit. I was like, a trash can spot? Like, where we are? Like, I don't think they're gonna come up here, but okay. So waiting and watching this match, and this woman's talking to me, the security woman. I was like, okay. Like, telling her son likes wrestling, but she doesn't get it. And I'm like, okay.
The trash can that never came.
And then the match ended. I was like, what? And she's like, okay, you can go now. I'm like, what? Like, what? I got stuck away from you for most of the match.
Yeah.
No trash can spot. There wasn't a trash can spot all night. And even we watched, 3 ROH matches? 2 ROH matches? 3 ROH matches.
3. No, 2. I don't know. Sometimes they
it was Yuta, whoever, and we saw Jay Lethal lost to that guy that we were like, who was he? Because
Yeah.
Yuta came out, and I was like, all right, well, are they going to use this entrance for like when, like Mox or Yuta come out? But like that didn't happen. So I just got stuck for no reason.
Yeah. Well, the chat's going nuts a little over making a lot of Tony jokes. Tony.
Well, I don't know if we'll get into this later, but
Me and Steve went outside of the boardwalk. It was nearly empty on a Saturday. Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But hey, I love it. It makes
When
for
we
more
went-
intimate.
when we were standing in line, there were people walking by. We're like, "What are you online for?"
Yeah.
And like someone's like, "Oh, wrestling show," and this woman made a weird look. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but it seemed like pretty.
Good, go away. We don't
I
want
don't
you here anyway.
But I
Yeah.
do. I wanted to see FTR. I like them heels again. I don't understand the Stokely thing, but okay. I don't think like Megan Bain was as big as I anticipated. She looks real big on TV, and then again standing next to Penelope Ford, who was
she would
shorter.
probably blend in to the normal.
Yeah, I don't think
size
she.
for her.
Again, she's fighting Harley Cameron, who's tiny.
Harley Cam's so over too.
Yeah, she was getting, I think, cheered more than Megan. But I don't know. Fun date night out, babe.
Steve's loving it. Ew, wrestling.
Ill wrestling.
I don't want it. But Nikki, that kind of bleeds into, and just for this week, and I know Josh.
I know. I'm sorry
Josh,
to break
you put
your
it in the
heart.
comments. I gotta find it. Josh is saying, "What news?
What aggravating news? No.
No. Yeah, what aggravating news?"
There's
Nikki.
no Nikki's news this week because we wanted to get into like our adventure in Atlantic City, and then we have Backlash predictions to talk about. So rest easy, my babies.
Yes.
There's no sad Nikki's news.
More
this
time
week.
for callers. More time for everything. More time for activities.
Well, I'm sorry my program takes up your show.
There's only so much time. We have to maximize our 5 minutes, Josh. I know how we can love that. But Mickey,
Really, Josh storms out.
But as we staying in the theme, kayfabe theme, as we talk about AEW, any AEW takeaways for this week, whether it be Dynamite or Collision from last night? I know last night we didn't really touch on that much in this household.
No, I worked late, so I just kind of went to bed. I don't get the MJF Hurt Syndicate business. He cut that promo after whatever match, and he's like, I don't need anybody, and it was all bloody. Remember, he was like sitting in the car park, and it was like, I don't need anybody. I don't need Adam Cole. Like I'm my own man. And now he's like desperately trying to get into the Hurt Syndicate.
Friends. Can I be your friend? I don't think he wants his friends though. He just wants business.
And then last week, Big Bob was like, you gotta hurt people. And then he beat up Top Flight, these two sweet little pickle babies, these little baby faces. They're such babies. They're so young. And then they're trying to cut a promo on the Hurt Business. And then MJF came out and beat them up. It was like, you beating up a baby face, super young, super green tag team does not make me think that you're serious, that you hurt people to join my hurting business. I don't know. I don't like it. I'm over it. I want MJF to be just like heel going after the belt.
Well, someone's over it. Josh is over some stuff.
No, he said that one.
I know. He relies on the.
I know. So I'm sorry.
But
I can't.
But yeah, to me, I agree. Yeah, just beating up a mid tag team doesn't really do much in that storyline. Like I thought he should have just got the thumbs up last night. It would have been or on Dynamite, and it would have been fine, and then move along. And that would have been a nice moment. Now next week, like we'll space it out.
What will Big Bob say?
Yeah. I don't really care. Unless they're gonna have a match like you have to beat me to get in, then I don't want your friendship. Beat you to get in. But yeah, so it is. But the one, I mean, the booking, the shows the last couple of weeks have been great. This one kind of dropped off a bit, but there were still some really good highlights I thought in there. To me, obviously the opening with Ospreay and Hangman and that promo, because we were talking about it last week when Hangman and won and to get into the finals for the Owen tournament. How is that going to was the build-up going to happen for the next? Because they have a long time, right?
Yeah, a long time.
So this promo, it's not about, I love it. He goes, Osprey said, it's not about your redemption story, Hangman. It's about my ascension. I like that angle. Now the question is, you know how I feel about face and heel. Like, it's someone.
He doesn't know.
But in this case, it does make sense with a heel champion to have two faces, so that you don't know. It keeps that mystique of you don't know who's going to win. So I do like that.
The thing is, they've both been heels before, and then like Hangman always seems to be doing this dance on the the tweener line. So this feels like not necessarily like baby versus baby, face versus face. And I just want Hangman to grow. Whoever cut that man's hair needs to get punched in the face. It's too short for his curls. He's got to grow it back out. Like they put layers. You don't layer a curly man's hair. Sorry, I love him, but like it's so short. And then when it gets dry, and he had this like little poof, he looked like a poodle.
Josh said, "Will Ocean Spray is boring." I mean, he's been getting a lot better with his promos. It's tough. I think in AEW, like to be, I think the faces don't cut great promos in AEW. And everyone tries to outshock everyone, so it's not. Everything just kind of blends in. He's been doing better, I think, to the point where like. Again, he's not going to be on the level of like an MJF or John Moxley. Like he could probably get his.
They need,
but he's never going to be an over the top. I think he's a guy who needs a little bit of creativity with the writing department to be super, super great. But he can be great. I don't think he's not going to be like a super great off the cuff talker like an MJF.
Yeah. I said this before, and again, we don't exactly know. I think WWE is so open, and everyone knows about the Performance Center and their classes and what they're supposed to do. And you know how Dusty teaching classes, and you have HBK who can cut promos and Triple H who can cut promos. Like they need, Mox should be teaching a class, or have Eddie come back and teach a class. Like someone's got to help these youngins how to talk. Because I kind of find the same with like Top Flight. I think they have a future. They're going to be stars. Again, they're super young, but like, you got to learn how to talk.
No, I agree. Any other takeaways? I know, and this one I just kind of threw in there because of the fact that WWE, ECW.
Yeah.
Josh, I did this for you. Rhino made an appearance.
So, because they said that obviously they're in the Detroit. Rhino's from Detroit. They said he was going to be backstage. They're like, oh, it'd be great if he did something. And then we were talking because also when we were in Atlantic City, Max Caster's been doing those open challenges because he's the best wrestler. And then we were like, oh, that'd be so great if like Max did that. Rhino came out, good night. But then he fought Nick Wayne because then they said earlier in the night it was like, oh. Nick is going to face someone from Christian's past. I'm like, well, that's Rhino. And you're like, what? And I was like, hello, you're put the 2 to 2 together. I'm almost sad he lost. I just want to see him like gore people and go home. Yeah, so Rhino took on Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne gets the victory over Rhino. Andrew Brunswick chimed in. Hey, Andrew. He thinks that Will Ospreay just needs a manager to talk for him. Wrestling needs more managers. I agree. Wrestling needs more good managers. Not enough of them. Not even going to read that comment, Josh. Move on. I will not have that merged. I will read it. No! Eddie Kingston's promo equals get angry, stumble over words, and use profanity. Eddie sucks. Everything. Never earned a handshake or hot dog. I disagree too. I hate to disagree, Josh. I know Josh loves it. But yeah, it was an interesting appearance from Rhino. Any other last takeaways for AEW on the week, Nikki? I'm sure you're all gonna go rewatch that Fatal 4-Way with Tony, Thunder, Penelope, whoever the fourth one is. They do that human centipede thing. Their faces are on the thing. On Dynamite? Yeah. Tony, Thunder, Penelope, and... Why am I missing the fourth? Anna Jay. Oh, yeah. Yes. Very solid match. All right, we're moving on from Eddie. I will not have this. I need to wear my Eddie shirt. I love my biggie. But moving on. We get to our Monday Night Raw takeaways, and we open Monday Night Raw because again, there's big news stemming at the end of Raw.
with a promo between Jey Uso coming out and ultimately getting approached by the wise man, Paul Heyman. And a great back and forth. I mean, again, when Heyman...
Give that man a flippin' Oscar. That promo from Heyman may be one of his tops.
Yeah, I mean, just the emotion in like, hey, I wasn't screwed. I didn't betray anybody. I was screwed over. I was put in that situation. And
yeah,
then,
like...
you know, setting up. Then the transition into, hey, I want to talk about you and the World Heavyweight title. And he goats Jey Uso into a World Heavyweight title match. And I'm saying, first of all, shit, he's going to lose the belt tonight.
I know, we were just like, what is going to happen?
So Seth Rollins challenges at the end of the night Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso. So in between there, so we're going to pause there before we get to the big news at the end of the night. Nikki, any other of your Raw takeaways in between the bookend of Raw, which was, again, the setting up of the World Heavyweight title match for the end of the night?
Well, I love... on all days, Rusev Day, Rusev squashed everybody. I love that they're kind of making him like a killer again, that we have to have all the security, all the management got to come out and like get him away from everybody. I like that they're making him like a killer again.
Yeah, no, I always find it funny that like with the security, like the refs, there's like 12 of them, they can't hold anybody back. Yeah. And I've seen this security before. I've seen it before. In honor of Jackson.
That is our child, Jackson, our sleepy little potato baby, who's currently upstairs in bed sleeping.
But yes, as we go back to the show, yeah, Rusev is being built back up as the monster that he deserves to be built as. We also did see another return, Sheamus, of a world champion, Sheamus.
Yeah.
And A-Town, well, I'm just going to call it the A-Town Down Under, is about to break up. Austin Theory gets squashed. They've
been on this, will they, won't they, break up for, a year now? But basically, like, Waller was found out he was going to fight Sheamus and then didn't want to fight him. So they're like, oh, Austin Theory, like, I feel bad you didn't get a thing. Why don't you do this thing? And then he got beat up by Sheamus.
Yeah. So I guess Sheamus is going to go right in, I would think, into the mid-card scene and maybe be a challenger for Dom at some point.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be his, no pun intended, white whale, that he's just going to be chasing the IC championship. But it's, again, someone that you can put in that's credible.
Exactly.
Again, and I'm really not a fan of Austin Theory, so I like watching him get beat up.
That's fair. So, Nikki, as we go towards the main event, which was again, solid match. When is Seth Rollins ever not going to put on a solid match? Seth Rollins and Jey Uso. And Jey Uso's great in the ring. I know you're not a big fan of his spears, but...
No, because they're shitty.
But again, the alliance, the vision, the coalition, whatever we are calling them, is at ringside causing chaos. Braun Breaker's there. Ultimately, it seems like the numbers game is going to catch up with them until Sammy Uso. Sammy Uso. Why not?
Call him Sammy Uso.
Until Sammy Uso shows up. To try and even the odds, but he unfortunately is taken out as well. So Braun Breaker comes, and let's see the breakdown of the end of Monday Night.
Patton never saw it. Heyman had him distracted, stopped by Rollins, and because of all these damn shenanigans of this coalition, Seth Rollins is going to win the damn World Heavyweight title. Maybe not, Cole! The night after WrestleMania, this group took out Punk and Rey, and CM Punk is back! Punk is back!
Nikki, CM Punk returns to save the day ish. Sort of.
Well, it's more like so Seth doesn't have the belt. It seemed like how Seth stomped Punk so Cena can win, so he didn't get the match at Mania. It's more like, anyone but you.
Right. So ultimately, Seth Rollins loses by disqualification, and Jey Uso does retain.
Did they even ring the bell? It just seemed like it just broke down. I don't know if it was like, it wasn't Alicia Taylor going by disqualification, Jey retains, like we're still champ. I think they just kind of stopped.
True.
But same thing.
So Nikki, what were your thoughts on Punk's? I'm calling it an early return because I wasn't expecting him back at this point in time.
The more I think about it, because we actually had a production meeting, kids. When you mentioned that you were to ask this question, I was like, well, that's fine. Now thinking about it, again, this is like the go home to Backlash, and none of these people are booked for Backlash. Why don't you wait and do it this coming Monday? So that you're going to build into whatever, I don't know. I don't remember what's next. What's June?
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank, yes. June 7th when the Worlds collect. Then why don't you have that coming next Monday to lead into your next pay-per-view? You have this big return, and you're not going to have a payoff of it on the pay-per-view that's this weekend. So at first I was like, oh yeah, it doesn't, I don't think he was out too long or out not enough. I just think the placement seems weird if it's a go-home show to a pay-per-view and none of these people are going to be on the pay-per-view.
Right. No, I think to just sell the injuries because Roman's ain't coming back for another month probably or so. So I think selling the injuries and everything else made more sense. I mean, again, the intrigue on Raw was strong because of the world title and the way that everything played out. The only other thing that happens now, again, he loses in this match. So my question is, how weak does now Jey Uso look as a champ? Because this is an opportunity where you could have potentially had him win the match somehow and overcome some. I'm not saying he needed to overcome this whole, because you have to build up the group. But I thought Jey Uso really could have looked a little bit stronger in this whole.
That not only
match.
Sammy came out, but then CM Punk came out.
Yeah, like you needed all this. And like maybe just the hijinks for the one-on-one. I don't know. And somehow he sneaks out a victory. Like he's going to need a big win, as a signature win as champion.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about that more with the Backlash preview coming up shortly. And he's not on Backlash. But like
we thought we'll get there.
I know. I changed the thumbnail a couple times.
Because,
Like I just think Jey Uso looks very weak the first couple of weeks coming out of WrestleMania as champion, and it's not the greatest way to build him up as a world champion who may only get a 2-3 month run with the belt. I don't know.
No, I sort of agree with you, and I think that's the conversation we had last week when it was like, oh, we thought it was going to be Logan, Jey at Backlash, and it's like, oh, who's going to lead that match? Like the two, like, I don't think they can call the matches, run the matches. They're not that ring general. Like, that match was good because I feel like Seth is a phenomenal dance partner.
True. Seth makes it,
Yeah, Seth makes people look good. I don't know. I worry, and I'm worried that this is sort of to be like this Kofi Kingston-esque run that everyone, it was like Kofi Mania, we were all excited, like he was gonna get the belt off the heel eco warrior Daniel Bryan, and it was such a great moment at Mania, and then his run really did nothing. I can't remember any of those feuds until he got squashed by Brock Lesnar and got the belt back on the debut of SmackDown on Fox, which is already not on Fox anymore. But like, it was like the getting there, the high of like, Beatlemania, and he did it. Our guy won. The guy who won the Royal won the championship. Yeah, all right. We can all do this now. But then where's this? When you do, like, I saw Steven's comment about being like the second banana and the thing. It's like you have Seth Rollins, who was the second banana all last Mania season,
Mm.
is now like he's more interesting. Him with Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman's more interesting. Like a heel John
And now
Cena's
you
more
hate him because
interesting.
he's shaved. I don't know who he's talking about.
Oh yeah, Kofi. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
Don't
So,
hate your facial hair, kid.
don't get her distracted.
No,
Don't put her off on that tangent. We still have to get the Backlash.
yeah, but I
So,
don't,
oh god, keep going.
no, I'm just saying I'm worried that he's gonna have a reign like Kofi that's like, yo, the moment was so phenomenal, and no one remembers anything after it.
Yeah, and yeah, you need a signature win. So, as champion as well.
Yeah.
So, not
Yeah.
So we will see. But let us know in the chat. We will. What do you think about Jey Uso and his title reign? But Nikki, we are moving along because we came here to preview WWE Backlash, and just to get us kicked off, we keep stats here because it's very important that we keep statistics.
I
For
have
sure.
a comment about this after we do
Well,
the
listen.
prediction. No,
You
please.
can make all your complaints. Tell it to the judge. This guy. So you have an uphill battle. Regardless, stemming off of WrestleMania, the 2-night WrestleMania, or this was night 2. So the way that we do this is there's two picks here. So there's the actual pay-per-views. So if Nikki or I, whoever the champion is, if she outpicks me for this pay-per-view and has a better record, she will be the reigning champion. And you have to have a better record than the current champion. So there can't be no ties. Ties go to the current champion. The bottom number is the overall record for the year. And who has the most victories versus losses for the year. So WrestleMania, I regained on night 2 our WWE Championship. Going 5-2 while you went 4-3. I am 16-7 for the year. You are 15-8 for the year. So very, very tight.
What was the match that you picked
That
that I didn't for night?
Dom. I think.
No,
Dom.
we both picked Dom.
I don't remember. It was so long ago. WrestleMania feels like forever.
No, it was the women's the triple threat that opened that turned out to probably be the best match of the weekend or top 3 depending. But it was that one because I was gonna go Bianca. You said EO, and then EO retained, and I thought it was fantastic. But yes, sorry, I digress.
So yes, so you were behind. Regardless, I am the champion.
We
Just letting
normally
you know.
make that face to each other all day.
So we enter Backlash because that is why we are here. Nikki, let's get ready. I am pumped.
Because the last real champ is oh my God.
Chance to run for cover. I don't want to
Nikki, Backlash is here. Breaking Benjamin, I will not bow. New Jersey natives. Paul, my brother Paul met them.
Well, at least this song is fitting on like the whatever.
No,
Chris
whatever.
Gable did to you.
It gets worse from here. It's all downhill from here. So we shall see. But Nikki, before we get to our first match, your overall expectations for WWE.
So I know like the interwebs are kind of shitting on this pay-per-view that like Triple H's booking has been so keeping it 5 matches, keeping it short, building stuff up. This kind of feels like the first like B pay-per-view, feeling like a B pay-per-view in a while. But usually when the build-up's not particularly great or the build-up's particularly rushed, the matches are still pretty good. And I'm like, I don't know. The Cena match makes me a little worried, but I'll talk about it when we get there. But I don't know. I'm hoping this again. It has, and also where because the past couple backlashes have been so incredible that maybe that everyone's just kind of shitting on it because it's not, across the seas or like when or in Puerto Rico was a phenomenal thing. Why are we
Breaking Benjamin Shelton?
Oh well, that was the Hulk Hogan thing.
I know. Yes.
Okay.
The Hulk Hogan. But yes. Anyway, go
Any
ahead.
whoosies. But no, I'm excited. I love a pay-per-view, so PLE.
Yes. Josh loves it. One of his favorite PLEs.
We were talking because we, like every pay-per-view going into we put on the old ones to go to bed to, and I just missed the ones with the swinging
Neckbreaker?
Yes, the swinging neckbreakers set piece.
Yeah, no, Backlash, those were cool. No. Anyway, I digress. But Nikki, we move along to the first match. What might open the show probably won't, but we're guessing it's a mid-card title. 4 titles are on the
4
line.
4 play matches are for title contention
In the 5 matches of the night. And we open with the United States title. Jacob Fatu defending against Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and LA Knight.
Yeah.
So your expectations first off for this match?
I think this is going to be a fun one. I don't know. I just think besides, well, even LA Knight's a big guy, but like between like Priest, Drew, and Jacob, like you got some the bigger heavy hitters, and then like LA Knight's more of a high flyer because he does that thing that makes me nervous every time he hits it, and like his finishers seem like obviously it's not like an RKO, but he does like the one he hit on Jacob at Mania, like that BFT out of nowhere is fantastic. But I think their styles enough mesh and enough clash, so I think this is gonna be really fun. And I think it also kind of has high expectations because we really like the Fatal 4-Way for the IC belt at Mania. And again, this is Jacob's first like defense of a belt on a pay-per-view, and I think it's gonna be good.
So I have a couple questions, I always do. So first off, does Solo Sikoa get involved in this match?
After cheeky Nick Aldis was fantastic on SmackDown last week. His shout out to Teddy Long for the tag team match play and winks at the camera. And then also the little because originally he was like, oh, it's gonna be a fatal 4-way between Jacob, LA, Priest, and then Solo was like, oh, well, the only one that deserves a title shot is Drew McIntyre. And then Aldis is like, great, we'll make it a fatal 4-way. And then Jacob's like, whatever, he's no breaks, blah, 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 and like runs away. And then Solo was basically, Nick Aldis like, oh, you're screwing Jacob. And he's like, no, you are. And then Solo just kind of like looks at him and walks away. So like, I don't know, it's something he's going to try to.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, like I said all along, I think we're building towards the U.S. title with Solo and Jacob one-on-one. I want that at SummerSlam. So there's only Money in the Bank in between. So this would make sense for Solo to actually get involved in this and somehow have a kooky finish. But I really don't want the belt coming off of Jacob.
No.
In this scenario. So
I think maybe he tries. I think of one of those things he tries to interfere, and maybe like Solo hits him on accident, and then something almost happens, but he gets out of it, and now be like a promo maybe next SmackDown. He's like, "Why are you?" And like, I don't need you to be involved in my stuff because we thought he was going to get involved at Mania, and he basically didn't. Right?
That's true. Lisa's chiming in. Believe it. We thought Solo was going to do something at Mania and he behaved, so I don't think he's going to do anything.
Lisa, reading my mind, babe. This is
good.
My sister. But I think because we thought he was going to be involved and he just took the beautiful mask and then left. Like, maybe, I don't know. Because, like, I agree with you. Like, I don't want Solo to lose the belt. I don't want like some shitty roll up. But like Solo has to do something because they're sowing the seed. So
Right.
you know, or is this the long? Gotcha, baby. Like a long. Not every single storyline can be this long drawn out thing. Like kind of. Again, I don't want it to be like an A-Town Down Under when they're won't they for a year and a half.
So who you got, Nikki? Your head.
Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu.
Nikki, I agree. We both have Jacob Fatu. Let us know in the chat if you differ. Do you see a title change happening in this match? I mean, it's a fatal 4-way. So you always have that.
But that also makes you worried, like, is it like they made it a fatal 4-way so they can drop the belt, but he still looks strong because he wasn't pinned. I just think it'd be silly to take the belt off him now.
Right. I think that's how you take the belt off him eventually.
Yeah, I just think it's
unless it's like a one-on-one nefarious Solo.
I think it's too early. I think
somehow
he should have a run with this. At least minimum to SummerSlam. Minimum. I would have him run till Mania.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So Nikki and I agree for once. Lisa's put in the chat, I'd love to see Drew win. We know you'd love to see Drew win. She's got Jacob retaining.
Yeah.
Andrew Brunswick Solo interfere, but Knight will also be knocked down, and Fatu lands on him to get the pin. Priest and McIntyre will brawl outside. Yeah. Keep all those storylines going. That's a nice.
Yeah, that
nice
makes
book.
sense.
But yes, ultimately, Nikki and I agree with Jacob Fatu retaining. Nikki, we move along to the other mid-card men's title. Dirty Dom.
Yep.
Defending against Penta. Not necessarily. Just Penta.
Just Penta.
But yes, as we get to this, a lot of interarching storylines, the fatal 4-way from WrestleMania. This is a holdover match. Well, a holdover singles match, I should say.
I just feel like they flipped it. Like the US Mania was 1-on-1 and the Intercontinental was a fatal 4-way, and now it's flipped. For the US, it's a fatal 4-way, and then for the IC, it's just a 1-on-1.
No, it's true. It's true. So, Nikki, what are your expectations of Dom Penta?
I think we are going to see a better match than we've seen from Dom. I think Penta is going to pull a lot of that kind of I need Mikey to say Lucha Libre because he makes it sound better than my white ass. But I think this is going to be maybe for me match of the night. I think this is going to be because I feel like we've seen glimmers of like when Dom can be really good. And I think like that. I have really high expectations from this match, and I think it's going to be really good. And I want to see them just pull out a bunch of Josh for you flippy doos.
Flippy doos. They're gonna.
I want
12 Canadian destroyers.
Oh my god!
I want suplex cities of Canadian destroyers. I want to count it.
That I know. It's same like the destroyer and the Spanish fly. I know they're so common nowadays, but I will never not freak out when someone hits one. And I think we're going to see some Spanish flies. I think we're going to see all the destroyers, Mexican, Canadian, and all the in between. I don't know. I have really high hopes for this match because I think Dom has grown leaps and bounds, and I think he's finally got his character, and I think he's finally got this rhythm, and it's just like, all right, like, and then like Stone Cold, Paul Heyman, John Cena, everyone like praise Dom, how good he is. I'm ready to see it in the ring.
That's fair. So the other question I got, will Finn Bálor get involved in this match? He did get screwed over, and he's not in this match. Is this the final? We've talked about it.
Again, another Willie won't they?
Integration of the Judgment Day. Will Finn Bálor get involved in this match?
I'm hoping he tries, but like JD, McDonough, and like Carlito kind of be like, hey, whoa, like let's like try to like defend or like save Dom from Finn.
like some weird.
Or does he not get involved and then after the match, Finn comes out? Because again, I think this is going to be a really good match, and I'm worried. And I said this to you in our production meeting. I'm worried that every match is going to have someone come out and do a thing, and I don't want 5 straight matches of someone interfering. And I'm worried that that's going to happen with this card.
I can't see that happening. I think there's going to be some clean finishes. Like,
I think maybe the
gotta-
Fatal 4-Way, unless you're listening to the dirt sheets and who's supposed to come out and do blah blah. But maybe the Fatal 4, no, because the Fatal 4-Way has Solo. Like, literally, I don't know if there's a match that has someone not, a potential person not coming out.
That's fair. Lisa's saying again she would love Penta to win, but she wants Dom to retain. I want to have a title, a little reign before losing it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's fair. But then you do have the Judgment Day. He fought them off. So who can help even the odds for Penta? Because there has to be, I think to some extent, right? There's so many Judgment Day members. He needs at least one person that's going to come make this at least interesting in a little melee of sorts. So
Can I tell you a secret?
shh.
Penta has a brother on SmackDown. And there's been so many nods and winks and basically saying, what was it, Rey on SmackDown with like, there's only one Lucha Libre,
Person I trust.
the person that I trust. And it's like, and then Penta made a thing of like, they're both dropping hints. Like the Lucha Brothers is going to be a thing in WWE. So I think if Penta needs someone to come and save him, I think Phoenix is going to come out.
Yeah. Steve said Penta can't win because they've already teased Lucha Brothers. But does Phoenix come out in this scenario to maybe even the odds, right? Like, that would be a nice little twist. To just, again, he doesn't have to win the match, but, does he come out to just even the odds a little bit?
Yeah.
You gotta have some friends. But overall, Nikki, who wins? Who do you have in the Dom Mysterio versus Penta?
Like, again, I agree with Lisa and Steven. Would I love Penta to do a run with the IC belt one day? Absolutely. Is the time right now? No, it is not. Dom retains because he needs a run for a while with the belt, the same as I feel with Jacob. And I think there's the rumbles of the draft. There's been the nods, the winks to Lucha Brothers. They wanted them to come in together, put Rey, Phoenix, and Penta back together, go on a tear through the tag team division. But I think our dirty little Dom retains.
Yeah, Andrew Brunswick agrees with you. Dom
Yeah.
retains. And also, Nikki, not only do I love you, but I agree with you too. Dom retains too. We both have Dom Mysterio retaining the Intercontinental title at Backlash. Nikki, moving along. We get to, I guess, one of the more heated feuds in this card. Lyra Valkyria.
There you go.
She has an RIA.
Mm-hmm.
And the man, Becky Lynch, returning to the WWE at WrestleMania, a short-lived WWE Women's Tag Team
24
title
hours,
reign.
baby.
Yeah, a lot. And now they're headed towards Backlash and a clash between the two most famous? No, I won't say. The two Irish wrestlers, the one that gets compared to the legendary Becky Lynch, the #1 ranked Sports Illustrated wrestler on Monday night. So, Nikki, the game's on. And you know what? The pressure's on.
Tell me what our time went, and if it was time well spent. Just don't let me fall asleep, feeling empty again. 'Cause I fear I might break, and I fear I can't take
really help you. Don't leave anything out. What did we say about Becky? Well, she was the first women's champion on SmackDown. You were the first woman to main event WrestleMania and win. You were the first women's Intercontinental Championship. Oh wait, that one was me.
Now that I'm losing hope, and there's
You
nothing
hate
else
it,
to
don't you?
show.
You hate that this is my first ever.
Carry
Well, get used to it, Becky. Because as long as I'm here, I hope you like second
I
place.
had to let them go. I'm sitting all alone, feeling empty. I can feel the pressure. It's getting closer now. We're better off without you. I can feel the pressure.
Nikki.
You're killing it with the songs today, babe.
So far, so good.
Proud
So far,
of
so
you.
good. I'm not
Oh,
getting
God.
too ahead of myself. It could get worse. It could go downhill at any moment. But Nikki, first off, what are your expectations and who wins? Becky
So,
Lynch? Lyra Valkyrie?
I do want to get. I feel like I know it's a big old dumb bird, and we've shit on her the whole way to WrestleMania. I think like 2 weeks ago when she first did her promo, I was like, "Oh, you sound like not like a little girl." Like the week after Becky turned on her, and I feel like in the thing that you showed again, it's a little more improvements that she's learning how to cut a promo. She's obviously has a lot to work there, but I feel like I see the growth in her already in the past 3 weeks, and I'm excited for her to keep getting better because obviously like Becky's and Charlotte's and Bailey's are not going to do this forever, and I love to see her growing. That said, she hit the Nightwing. I almost said Darkwing. It's the Nightwing, or it's the Darkwing. I confuse the two.
Nightwing.
Right. I'm Darkwing Duck. My 90s kids. And I always feel like if you stand tall at the go home show, you're not going to win at the PLA. But I think Steve said it earlier. I think Becky's gonna win. It's gonna set up Bailey Becky. I hope Bailey does not get involved in this match. Maybe come out after. I think better hold it to Raw on Monday and have Bailey confront Becky, and then have Becky go on a run for the IC belt. Whoever, and then Lyra come back in and get it back. I think that's how you play that out.
So you kind of touched on it.
Yes. Did I get ahead of your question?
Slightly, but does
Sorry.
Bailey return for some revenge? Because there is that storyline. She admitted she took her out. Bailey's been out for a little while since WrestleMania. So if you in theory want to keep the belt on Lyra or find a way for Lyra to win and keep intrigue in just this women's storyline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll talk about my other theory in a hot minute, stemming from Raw. But you could put Bailey into this feud, maybe keep it as maybe a triple threat scenario until SummerSlam, being the big payoff. So the question is, does Bailey return for revenge? Do you see that happen?
I hope. I want this to lead to a Bailey Becky thing. I'm worried about everything is going to be someone comes out, someone returns, someone does a thing. I think you should save Bailey to Monday. Have Becky cut a promo, maybe opening a Raw or whatever, and then have Bailey come out and confront her. I don't want to see that on the pay-per-view. Again, Lyra, was this her first IC defense on a PLE?
Yes, that's something.
So let just them have their one-on-one match. I don't want everyone.
You might lose.
That's fine. And then I'd be more intrigued if they actually kept it on her. But that's not gonna happen.
Well, the other theory stemming from Raw is there could be more members. We talked about this in the show before. There could be more members in the actual alliance. So my question is, could the alliance, because her husband leads it, spoiler alert, Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are married, could the alliance help Becky Lynch to win in this match? And ultimately, that's how Becky ends up on top.
And I told you I don't like that. Looking at the size of Braun Breaker, you can't have him come out.
No, I'm not saying he's going to spear her.
But again, I don't like the optics of like him like leering or doing
Why do you have to
whatever.
hold her foot down when there's a pin.
No, but still, like that. If anyone, it has to be Paul Heyman and Paul Heyman only. But that I just feel like that'd be too like on the nose. Like all of a sudden, like Heyman comes down. Like I just think they can. I want one match on this card. I'm hoping it's this match just to have no shenanigans. Just have a heel Becky beat up this little protege girl, and then go into this feud with Bayley, and then maybe SummerSlam. Maybe you circle back to Mania, and then have this rise of Lyra being more like. I don't adult sounds. I feel like I'm shitting on her, and I'm like rooting for her so hard. Like her last two promos have been good. I want her like all the boats of the ships, but I think you circle back to her, then she slays like the beast sort of thing.
Yeah. I could see them like maybe they don't help her, but like somehow if Becky does win, walking up the ramp to join the alliance is a shot.
Oh yeah, have them like clapping but like I just don't want like them down by the ring. We don't need Braun Breaker hovering over Lyra. I don't like it. I don't like the optics of that.
Maybe Braun Breaker just doesn't like how she dressed for WrestleMania.
Why in God's name would you wear a costume with giant wings?
I'm a sexy angel.
Are we supposed to pretend like you're not dressed like a giant bird? I mean, if you're gonna be sexy, don't dress like a bird.
I didn't drop so much. I know, and I'm just like, again, I see like the past since Mania, the last two promos she cut, I feel like she's getting better. Again, she's good in the ring. She just sounds like you're fighting with your big sister, and she's like, like you took my sweatshirt or like whatever bullshit. But I don't know. I think you kind of, if Bayley and Becky go this way, I think you need to build Lyra up on the back end. And I think Joho said something in the chat. I don't think she goes back down to NXT. I think you can.
Okay, so Joe said, if Becky wins, what do you do with Lyra back to NXT? Does Becky get the belt? No, Becky just Lyra keeps chasing her.
Again, I think that, like Nick said, like maybe SummerSlam's like the triple threat between the three of them, and then like Becky and Bayley are so like fighting each other. Then like Lyra comes up and like, oh, mine. Exactly. I don't know. I just feel like
it keeps a lot of people involved and more.
Yeah, and then maybe it's just a babyface Lyra better at chasing a heel Becky.
I wanted to see a heel Lyra, but I digress. Nikki, ultimately, who do you have in this match? Becky or Lyra?
Going with the man, Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch is your pick. I agree. I'm going with Becky as well. This is a title change. Book it. This is our title change. We agree on it. Let us know in the chat what you think. It seems like the chat pretty much agrees. Andrew's got Becky. Steven's got Becky. Lisa hopes Becky wins. So I guess she's picking Becky. But yeah, we shall see. We shall see tomorrow night. We got a lot going on. By the way, our next show, normally we recap these shows on Sundays, especially when they're Saturday or the day after. But as you all know, Sunday is Mother's Day. Very important day. Very important day to spend time with your mother. Appreciate them. I love my mother. I know Nikki loves hers. We love both of our collective mothers together. That's it. But anyway, we love her.
Mr. T.
We love her.
I love my mother on Mother's Day. And I love my mother on Thanksgiving. And I love my mother on Sundays. No, we have a wedding Saturday. We have Mother's Day Sunday. We are traversing the state of New Jersey once again. I don't know if and when we will have time to watch Backlash to do anything on Sunday. So we're going to see you all on Monday.
Monday at 5:30 Eastern Time. I know our friends, Josh, I know you go live at 7 Eastern Time. We're going to try and wrap everything before you guys go live as well. But Nikki, as we move along into what becomes a personal, one of the bigger grudge matches, I would say. You're
saying like everything's been a 2-week build. You're like grudge match of the
grudgiest of
like everything with Becky and Lyra. It was like it's been 2 weeks.
But
this blood feud has been going on for centuries.
Listen, I will tell you one thing. You do not mess with my friends. And you know what? If you mess with my friends, you're messing with me. And that's what Pat McAfee is doing. He's protecting his friends. He's protecting his hero.
Must ride for those that ride for you. If one go, all go. You're either with me or against me. And there's one man that has been with me since the day I met him. And he just so happens to be the greatest of all time, Michael Cole. To Michael Cole, I will be loyal till I'm in the soil. And if somebody wants something with him, they got something with me. So last week, when that Austrian asshole put his hands on the ghost, I had no other option but to protect my boy. It was deep in my soul. It was deep in my blood. You don't want it anymore. You've gotten too damn comfortable. It happened with Sami Zayn. It happened with Jey Uso. And on Saturday, you're going to overlook me. You're going to underestimate me. And I'm going to prove to you and all these people that this version of Gunther is soft.
Nikki.
S-A-W-F-A-T. Soft. I think I spelled it wrong. But you know what?
No, that's how they do it. That's how they spell it purposely.
Yeah, no, it says S-W-A-F-T.
Oh, S-A-W-F-T.
Yeah, I don't know if I got too excited to spell it.
I give you an A for effort.
Thank you.
But Nikki, what is your expectation of this match and who wins?
I think we talked about Pet's promo last week, and he got like 7 minutes, which is probably more than most people get. Great promo. I really loved the back and forth when he was just like, again, he's like, you underestimated Sam, you underestimated Jay. Like, you're gonna underestimate me. Like, and I'm gonna show everyone that you're soft. Soft. And then I also love I'm gonna butcher this, but like then Gunther was also like, you have to pray to God or God's hands, like to remove my
only
hand.
By the grace of
so
God.
only by the grace of God. Yes. And I was like, that was good. I don't know. This is the one that feels I don't know. But I'm intrigued. I think maybe the most, again, I think Dom Penta is gonna be match of the night. Technically in the ring. I feel like this is the match that has me most interested in, most like, how are they going to play this? How are they going to do this?
Yeah, because you can go a lot of different ways, because Gunther's, like, again, my question is, does Gunther continue to spiral? Like, does he start going on this losing streak? I know, Josh, your buddy and John Cena loyalist, truther, Grun, was talking about Gunther going on this massive losing streak on your show. And it could be something that you could go in that direction as Gunther continues to spiral. There is also, as Jackson is our security guard, is finally waking from his slumber, as the bank vault
He's
has
been
completely
asleep under a
cleaned
blanket
out.
on our bed since 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Security is very, very loose at this household with Jackson. So, but yeah, like to me, you could go in that direction of Gunther spiraling,
like a crisis of confidence thing.
Yeah, but to me, I think you give football season's coming up for a bit. You don't, and even in the fall, the ratings aren't that high in general. Give McAfee a little extra time. There's not really much going on right now into the summer. Like, SummerSlam's great and all. He could probably come back and do one-off for SummerSlam. To me, Gunther is a guy who needs a belt. He needs some sort of title, and without it, it screws with a little bit of his character and loses his momentum. And momentum to me is the biggest thing in wrestling. How much momentum you have. It doesn't matter if you have the belt or not. You need the momentum and the fandom. Like Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 30, like that momentum and the chance. So like, I don't see that happening. I think they have to just, Gunther's a guy who's predicated on wins and needs victories. And to me, I see him coming up victorious. So, Nikki,
I know.
Do you agree or disagree?
We have to disagree on one match this pay-per-view. So I am going Pat McAfee. Like, I think, again, what he said, like, you underestimate me. The match he had with Adam Cole in NXT, like, Pat is not, again, like, as much as, like, I don't like Logan Paul, but he respects the business and puts the work in. Same with McAfee. He's not going to go into this match, like, being slow, being soft, being not prepared. And again, if this lasts more than 30 seconds, maybe a minute, because either Gunther's coming out and demolishing right away. If we tread into late waters, then Pat is winning. Because if you can't squash him in 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, quicker than Orton, Joe Hendry, then I think this goes to Pat. And I think, again, it'd be one thing if it was August. If this was at SummerSlam, we need to write Pat off because he's got to do College Game Day or whatever. You're gonna have Pat with Cole through the summer, and Michael Cole with.
I want Wade Barrett.
I do
justice for Wade.
No, but then Wade, maybe because I don't.
I'm afraid I got some bad news, Nikki.
I know. I want Wade to come back and do a thing.
Steven thinks Gunther over Hunter. Thank you. Next, Nikki.
Again, I'm not going to be. Again, we have to disagree on one match. I said, who do you want to argue for or against? You said Gunther. I was like, I'll take that. But the thing
I got Gunther. You got Pat.
But again, is the rumblings that Goldberg is going to show up and Goldberg is going to do a thing? Does Goldberg show up, distract Gunther, and then Pat hits a roll up? That's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
Or is Goldberg the next challenger after a loss for McAfee and a victory for Gunther?
Are you saying McAfee?
Goldberg's the next challenger. He just shows up after because he wins
so
the match.
Gunther beats Pat, and then
Goldberg shows up. Yeah, it's a moment.
I don't
and
know.
I think because
this shit talking that he said, he's like, oh, I idolized you, like what you think were my favorite wrestler, but it's like, oh, Bret Hart, and like that was the thing. Like, I think it's not going to be, hey, you when I'm staring you down. That's like Goldberg doesn't work like that to me, brother. I think this is the match that needs something nefarious, whether it's for Gunther, for Pat, vice versa. Something is going to happen in this match. But I think if it goes long, it only favors Pat. Because if you think Gunther needs to be redeemed, come back with a thing, then he needs to be like Brock Lesnar, Cena, SummerSlam 2016 when it's like
sometimes you don't come back as a champion. Sometimes it takes a little while, but at least it's a victory. You need some things. That's how sports are sometimes. But
Steven, this Sabrina Carpenter dressed at the Met Gala, and everyone's seeing like she dressed like Gunther. She cosplayed as Gunther basically at the Met Gala. And then I don't know. Andrew said heel Michael Cole, and we can't go back to the dark times. Happy Michael Cole.
Coal miner. Coal miner.
I don't want him in a box being a piece of shit. Like this is like the renaissance of Michael Cole with Pat McAfee.
That would be an interesting story.
We can't go back. We can't go back. Andrew, no. Don't put that out in the universe.
We're not going back. We're going forward. Nikki, we're hitting the main event. A rematch of a rivalry for the ages. John Cena, Randy Orton for the WWE Undisputed. Nikki, are you ready for this match?
No.
And in the honor of it being in St. Louis, at the risk of you not liking this, but I hope you do. For all of us, we love, you said up tempo. I'm giving you some up tempo, Nikki. I will guarantee you it's up tempo. But it's in St. Louis. We love some rock and roll. You got to go with one of the originals. And if you love Back to the Future, you're going to love this. Nikki, John Cena versus Randy Orton.
Make sure to get a great picture, because the last real champ is, oh my God. I just called out a rando and he turns
pale white. Imagine being told you suck for 25 years. They don't mean anything to me. You are just like all of them. You're all hypocrites. Because once you get tired of me, you can put your energy into any superstar you want to cheer for. But if the roles are reversed and I put my energy into anything other than this, I'm an outcast, I'm a guest. That's why this is dysfunctional. That's why this doesn't work anymore. That is not a functional relationship. That is manipulation.
How dare you in the chat insult my integrity? We're not saying the C word here. We don't use that C word anywhere. Anyway, Nikki, I'd be good. What are your expectations?
I'm worried this is going to be the slowest match alive. I think we all collectively can hold hands and say the main event was not good between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Again, it was like, oh, John Cena is ruining wrestling. Of course, you're not supposed to like the match. Okay, hey, let's put on a shitty main event at WrestleMania. Don't think that's a good idea. And as much as fun Randy Orton is fun Randy Orton, like him and my Joe Hendry, local hero, doing the things that mean that was a fun spot. And fun Randy is fun Randy. This is not going to be fun Randy, and this is heel John Cena. I'm worried this is going to be headlock, five knuckle shuffle, headlock, draping DDT, headlock.
Randy's still in phenomenal shape, though.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Great match. I don't know.
I don't have good feelings about this match. Again, cast your minds back, Lisa, plug your ears. Edge and Randy Orton having the greatest match ever in the history of ever. It was 45 minutes of them walking around the PC. I worry that this match is going to go too long. And I'm just worried about it. I'm so worried about this.
So the other question is, do we see a return of Cody Rhodes? The last we saw, he lost at WrestleMania. He's been pulling the Roman Reigns.
What is a Cody return going to do? He's not going to, John Cena's not losing. So are you going to have him come out and try to interfere and then John Cena still wins? Or again, it's another thing after the match, Cody comes out when you can just save it for SmackDown. This doesn't feel like Cody needs to come back for this. You're not helping Randy win. I don't think Cody should help him lose.
Show up in the match. He can just show up after the match, potentially after.
But then there'll be a bigger pop at SmackDown.
It's a moment to end the show. You just ended WrestleMania with a heel victory. You don't want to end Backlash with
Listen, we're just going to be an empire for a while. Again, may the fourth be with you. We're a couple days late, but I think we're just going to ride Empire for a while.
John H. says we don't need Cody in.
No, I don't. Again, every match has a thing happening. Not every match needs a thing. It's going to be bad. Just let it be bad by themselves.
So ultimately, Nikki, John Cena, Randy Orton, who are you picking?
Cena's not losing. I'm sorry that this feels very old school that you're going to lose in your hometown. Sorry, Randy Orton. But he's not dropping the belt to Randy. If anything, Travis Scott is going to come out and be terrible.
Oh, God. Travis Scott again? That guy.
It's not going to be Cody. I think John Cena is going to lose by some nefarious means. Again, all their matches was like, again,
Cena strikes back.
basically, I don't know, like most of their matches were not great.
Cena's gonna punch the ref and get the DQ, and everyone expects Cody.
They already did that. What was it? Their match, SummerSlam, blah 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 blah. Steven, I don't know if Ed's here. That was a match that Randy tried to get DQ'd, and then they restarted it 2 times, and it was like, now it's a blah blah blah. And again, the dynamic is different because obviously Randy's your face.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't.
But you got Cena.
I got Cena.
And ultimately, Nikki, I agree with you. I don't think Cena's losing this belt this early. It would be the odds on that. What are we betting on?
Yeah.
Joe Hood with
Smack my hand
Andrew.
in
He
the
said when RKO smack the ref, just get yeah, maybe something that would be kind of a nice,
A lovely
Yeah.
callback.
Yeah, true.
But then does like Pierce or Aldis come out to restart it? Or are you just like, or he really just gets DQ'd and moonwalks out of there?
Yeah, I think he just does that and moonwalks out because you can keep going for another match, at least one match.
Oh, I never plugged in my laptop when you got in your seat. Sorry.
gosh.
My computer is like,
Dying over here.
sorry.
But Nikki, we'll go over our final picks for the
Yeah.
WWE Backlash pay-per-view as the phone lines are now open. I put it in the chat. Feel free to call and let us know what you're drinking, what you're thinking, what your predictions are for WWE Backlash. You want to talk about CM Punk's return? You want to talk about AEW Collision Atlantic City that we were in, or AEW in general, or wrestling in general? Let us know. That's in the chat. But our picks, Nikki, we agree on 4 matches.
Yeah.
John Cena retaining, Dom retaining, Jacob Fatu retaining, and we have a title change with the man Becky Lynch winning the women's Intercontinental title. And ultimately, we can't agree on Pat McAfee or Gunther and what way that's going to go.
Can I peel back our
Onion?
kayfabe curtain? We said that we didn't want to agree on every match, and this would be the match that we can disagree on. And I said, who do you want to defend? And you said Gunther. So if Gunther wins, I just want there to be an asterisk. I want there to be an asterisk on your 5-0.
No, you signed
Mine
your
was
name.
your 5-0 with no fuck.
You signed your name.
Asterisk.
Unbelievable.
I'm better than you, and you know it.
Girl.
I make better picks.
Girl.
I don't know what to tell you. So
Well, you pick Gunther. I picked.
just be upset that I made a better pick.
No, because I deferred to you. It's like, who do you want to
Well,
defend?
you gave me the
babe?
first pick, and I picked the right pick.
No.
When I pick the right pick, that's just what happens. So,
Yeah.
nice people finish last, even in pick. So, Nikki, we move on. Again, the phone lines are open, so I threw it in the chat here, but apparently putting links in the description in YouTube has been an issue for me. So
you have to copy. It's not like a click. You have to like copy and paste.
yeah,
it.
you have to. So in the description, you can copy and paste that into a new tab, and obviously mute your YouTube tab, and then it'll take you to a StreamYard tab. So call in there. But yes, so we've been having issues kind of getting the link going. So I threw it in the chat. So feel free to call in, let us know what you're drinking, what you're thinking. WWE Backlash 2025. Who do you have in the matches? What predictions? Do you have any returns? Do you have any surprises, debuts? Oh my gosh, we talked about this a hot minute about Jeff Cobb. Oh, what match we were talking about Jeff Cobb maybe show up?
The fatal 4-way, because Jacob and Cobb standing across from each other at the end of that match, I'll just be like, now kiss. I want to see them wrestle. But again, it's like every match has a run-in, or at the end of the match, they're going to do a stare down. Like, I don't know if some things like Cody saved that for Raw or SmackDown. Like, Bailey coming out, maybe save that.
Yeah, like does Jeff Cobb show up? Maybe do you have a debut of someone outside WWE that maybe no one knows about that may have signed? Do you have a return of someone coming? Do you have interference or a betrayal? We want to hear from all of you. What you're drinking, what you're thinking. WWE Backlash 2025. Nikki, as we get ready, 1 second, as we set it up. as I like to say here on this show, because you're so talented, Nikki.
Sure.
Play so many instruments,
So many instruments.
especially on this show. Hit the snare. People in the chat, hold on. Let's get back to some.
There's an intense bourbon situation.
Yeah. What are you drinking? What you're thinking? Andrew Brunswick is drinking bourbon. Or he's out of bourbon.
It's a nice water.
I'm all out of bubble gum. It's gonna. It was 4 roses.
And you are wearing your Roddy Piper shirt.
Yeah, there we go. All out of bourbon. Nuts is not bad. Yeah, need more bourbon. Who doesn't? They're talking. There's a lot of recommendations.
Bourbon talk, and I'm just like,
Uncle Nearest.
what is that bourbon? That was a fancy I can see his face. You're Lisa's friend. When he came to the house, he bought the bottle of bourbon. His girlfriend just had a baby. Oscar. He bought that weird bottle of bourbon. It was that weird shaped bottle. I don't remember what bottle that was. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm thinking in our liquor cabinet, I have a bottle of Bullet bourbon. I just feel like my Jim Beam and Bullet's not as fancy as for you kids.
I don't know. I'm very particular with my alcohol.
I know. When I lived in Philly, there was a lot of Jim Beam in my life.
No, I just rum. You know me.
You know, you and your rum.
Rum. And then it screwed my stomach too much, and then I had to go to my red wine. And
Red wine.
Red wine hasn't really been for the most part.
I'm not coming to bar.
So far, so good. Yeah, as I say that. But Nikki, doing some housekeeping before we forget. Tomorrow, 90s Wrestling Con. Men in Arena, Morristown, New Jersey. Taking the show on the road. Pop-up show. Might be one half of the world tag team pod champions. Mr. Nick. Doing some giveaways. A bunch of things. So, super excited to meet everybody out there. If you were in the area, come out. Come meet some of the greats of the 90s. Eric Bischoff. Eazy-E will be there, Nikki.
I won't be.
But the Nick Club will.
The Nick Club, one half of the Nick Club will be there representing, and again, all our fun things. We have our fun little coasters. Where's my camera?
There we go. Better angles.
Yeah, there you go. Fun coasters. Nick went crazy and got bottle openers and koozies and stickers.
We got a bunch of things for a giveaway. So, Nikki, phone lines are open. We got a regular eager to get at the chat.
Okay.
So, let's get to it. There's only one way to bring him in.
Say his name and he appears.
I believe in Steven.
Steven!
You know, I can relate because there are some days where my stream is unavailable as well.
Wait. I think we may have gotten a slap on the wrist for some things.
Well,
Maybe.
usually you play your videos and like they just get like if you rewatch the podcast, it just skips to us talking again.
Yeah. So,
So you're gonna be here
Live.
live to watch Nick's masterpiece.
but you can't. No, I guess you can't, right? Can you?
What?
Steve, did you get to see the videos or not?
I saw the videos.
Oh, I thought they get blocked. Like for the live group, I think they get.
I think the live people get it. If you try to rewatch it after the stream ends, it's gonna get skipped.
Ah.
As long as you can see, that's the incentive. You have to see us live Fridays at 6. Because what you see might never get seen again. For your eyes only.
Never know
That's
what happens here at the
exclusivity.
bar.
That is absolute exclusivity.
Plus, we'll see if the prostate joke I just made makes the cut. So
That's a good question too. How many comments have I read that probably shouldn't have been read? That's another man. To be PC.
we try to make it. We want to see how far we can go before you guys crack. That's what it is.
Like if I. Yeah. Anyway, Steve, what are you drinking? What do you think?
Well, the most important story, I got to ask, how was the fried chicken?
Oh, it was so good. That
It's
chicken
stayed
and
in the
waffle.
fridge for like 4 days too, because I think Nikki just didn't want to give up on it. And
It was so just like a little bite. And I'm gonna savor this so much, but no, it was so good. Chicken and waffles, some syrup, chef's kiss.
I've never had it. Every time I go to Hash House when I'm out in Vegas, I always get the scrambles. So I've never had chicken and waffles there or anywhere.
Well, I think you need to take that jump.
Wait,
Steven.
Steve, so you're just reading things and telling us to try the. We're your human guinea pig.
He said.
I'm glad.
I said go to the restaurant. I didn't say what to order.
Yes, no. Steven said try this breakfast, and I saw it said famous chicken and waffles. I was like, I'm in. And they put bacon in the waffles.
And they gave you a whole chicken.
Exactly.
Literally, chicken. You get the whole coop. Literally.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. I wouldn't steer you guys wrong.
No, I trust you in all things, Steven.
And now all this talk about animals, and PETA's probably going to get us copyrighted. The secret.
Stop it.
So sorry. Yeah, PETA will interfere.
So Steve, what are you drinking? What are you thinking here?
No bourbon today. Just a Coke.
I know there's a lot of bourbon chat going on in this chat.
Yeah, I've seen that. I like the bourbon ice cream whenever I see it, but straight bourbon. I think I got to work my way up to that a little, build up my tolerance.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You could do a little. I know. Joe Hope, Steve, Andrew, cover your ears. I do like a little Diet Pepsi in there just to cut it, because I'm not 20 anymore, and Mama needs a mixer.
Well, if it's good enough for Phil, why not?
Why not?
Yeah. All right. So as the show was ending yesterday, news broke. So want to talk about that because I had thoughts.
Yes.
I didn't want to interrupt your Collision preview, which was pretty good. I'm glad you had a nice time there. But just a few thoughts on the release. Yeah, there it is. A few thoughts on the releases. First of all, just as a point of strategy, if you're going to do a live show just after the releases, maybe don't do the releases just before the live show, especially if some of the people you're releasing are the significant others of people who will be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe save it for, there you go. Maybe save it for Saturday if there's not a PLE that day. All I can tell you was Damian looked absolutely pissed.
Yeah.
But to his credit, he went out there, he did his job. And I would imagine he was not pleased.
Agreed.
Yeah. So yeah, just as a general point of strategy, especially since the rumor is there's going to be another round of these in September, I think.
Well, that would make sense because it seemed like now, actually, ironically, today, May 9th, is a 90 days for the Good Brothers, Cedric Alexander, all those February releases that happened. I'm blanking on a few of the others, but like, so it's funny. It's a quarterly. It seems like it's obviously a quarterly deal that they're reevaluating. So, yeah, September probably. Yeah, right. We're in May, June.
It makes sense, right after. I mean, that'll be a few weeks after SummerSlam by that point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, save it. I mean, if SmackDown was taped, I can understand, but just save it for Saturday, not literally minutes before going on the air.
Yeah.
So now, credit to Sean Ross Sapp, who I thought provided some pretty good coverage of these cuts. On Friday night, he did a good live stream show. He had a general good idea. I don't know if this was his idea that he was relaying from somebody, or if he was relaying the idea from somebody else. But he made a suggestion that if you're a wrestler who's been inactive due to them not booking you for, I think, 60 days, 90 days, maybe. Mm-hmm. Like you're not injured, you didn't ask for a break to deal with family business or whatever, or you're not doing promo work overseas for them. You're just not booked for anything, not even so much as a house show. Then there should be a clause in all the contracts that allows you to ask for your release and get it.
Yeah.
If they're not going to use you, if they're not going to use you, then why keep you around? I know Nick Khan has said, we don't bench people. That's kind of effectively are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of those people, not all of them, but a lot of those people they really weren't using. And I know Dakota had some issues with injuries, and so did Cora and Strowman, et cetera, et cetera. But they should, if they're not going to be used, then they should be able to be let go so they can go work somewhere else.
Right. And honestly, not be stuck with like a 60, 90, 30-day clause. Like, if you're not using my talent, I will put my craft somewhere else.
Right. And all the NXT releases only have 30-day clauses, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we could see them real soon somewhere else.
And that's what I kind of feel like what you're saying before, like about Damian Priest and Kitten Carter, that Riley Osborne from NXT got released, and the whole rumor was he didn't want to work at Evolve, but he's like, no, you literally released my wife, B. Priestley, Blair Davenport, whatever you want to call her. He's like, I need the day because you just fired my wife. I'll come back the next day. And then that was construed as like, oh, he doesn't want to be at Evolve.
Yeah.
You fucking fired his wife. And then 5 months later, you fire him?
Yeah. And then another point, like these, the majority of these releases seem to be the lady wrestlers.
Yep.
If TNA doesn't sign at least half of them, because they're kind of a little shallow right now in their women's division, then whoever's running that joint needs to be put up for malpractice. I mean,
yeah, I think
Cora G, Gigi,
Dakota. I want to see I want Shayna Dakota AEW, at least Shayna AEW, but you maybe have Dakota come and like
Shayna would fit in more because she doesn't have to have as much of a personality as
I think again, like
AEW. So like
what she showed in her streams and stuff is different than I think both of them, maybe all of them. Like the personality that they showed on TV seems so different than when you see in their social media and like what they're actually like more actual life than
Yeah. And then there's always the discussions online. People get upset. People get upset. They shouldn't have cut so and so. They shouldn't have cut this person. They shouldn't have cut that person. Well, I mean, if you're a seasoned enough wrestling fan, you know there's going to be cuts a couple of times a year.
Mm-hmm.
So that leads to the discussion, and you can't just keep these people. I mean, so that leads to possibly leads to a discussion. Well, who do you cut? Within reason, because they are not cutting Logan Paul. They're not cutting Charlotte. I mean, and I think that's actually a reasonable discussion to have, because if there are talented people they're not using, they should let them go so they can go somewhere else and work if that's what they want to do. But I don't think that's an unreasonable conversation to have. You don't want to see anybody be out of a job, but if they have nothing for you and they have nothing for you long term, then that's somebody like Apollo Crews. That's somebody where is like, look, let's let the man go and sign with somebody else so he can wrestle every week or every other week and just be active instead of.
Like in your background, I just like heard me reverberate.
I didn't hear anything. Sorry.
But it's just like you bring up someone like Apollo Crews, like to me brings me back to Brody, to Luke Harper, that they weren't doing anything left him to extend his contract for another 6 months, a year. He finally gets to AEW and then gets sick, and then we lose him. It's like we could have had another year and a half of Brody at AEW or Brody anywhere. And we didn't get that because it's like, oh, I want to screw you away. You have to fill out your contract. But I'm like, you're not using people. Let them go and do something else. So I agree 10,000% with you, Steven.
Exactly. I mean, I'm sure it's nice to, be able to get, like, I don't know what anybody's getting paid except the tip of the top, and then to not be used. But that has to be demoralizing if you keep getting passed over, week after week after week after week. And just it goes on for months and months. And it's just, well, just let me go do the indies. Just let me go and let me do what Cardona's doing right now, and making a killing on the indie scene, and et cetera. So, so there's that. And best of luck to everybody. I hope we see them all down the line, and that's my thoughts on the cuts.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of good talent out there with that was just let go. So we'll see where everyone's. I think there's gonna be a few surprises that we don't see coming. It's like, oh, so and so went to AEW, didn't think they were there. So and so went to TNA. Oh, really?
And there's a couple that we know are going to be off the books by no later than the end of next year, or at least it's heavily suggested. I mean, we know Cena's going to be off the books by the end of this year, and AJ and Roman have been suggesting that their end is coming within the next by the end of next year, I think at latest, if I did the math on that right. And I have a feeling there's going to be a few more that are not going to be, like Truth, probably by that point. And I have a feeling Bailey's not going to resign. She's going to go over with her friends so she doesn't have to pay $99 a month to talk to her. I think Asuka is going to go home. I think Natalya is going to move full time to the production center, the training center. Jesus Christ. So, at least those are people that, well, if we think they're going to leave, let's just let them be, and let's focus on these other people who are still going to be, who still look to be active in-ring performers.
Exactly. No, well put. Steve, before we let you go, what is your last shot?
Oh, gosh. Benjamin Shelton, Jesus. You know what? I think he obviously he did. I mean, there's the thing going around about he wrestled Shelton Benjamin, which I think he did in a couple of 6-man tags. and that he wrestled Brock Lesnar out of UFC. And Hogan's lying. I don't know that he's lying. I think he actually thinks that happened.
He might
Probably.
would make his interviews. I mean, it could be they could be funnier or really, really bad.
Yeah.
Things go.
I haven't listened to an interview of his in full, but I mean, obviously I caught the clips. And I think, there's the old Seinfeld line. It's not a lie if you believe it, Jerry. And I think he thinks this actually happened, which would make him, of course, wrong, but not a liar. I mean, who knows? I mean, he's in his 70s now. He's taken a lot of bumps. Who knows anymore? Plus, how much of that crappy beer has he been having? So,
yeah, he's definitely losing it as he's getting older. That's.
I really loved Shelton Benjamin's tweet back.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good, and of course, Shelton is still an active wrestler and still goes pretty good, and of course was involved in the best super kick spot the best individual super kick spot I think I've ever seen.
True athlete. And you talk about people that are losing it as they're getting older. Well, I'll tell you one person who's not losing it, friend of the show, WWE Hall of Famer, 2025 WWE Hall of Famer, Typhoon Fred Ottman.
This is WWE Hall of Famer Fred Ottman, and you're watching Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. Yeah.
Mr. Tug.
Yeah.
I love it.
Get ready.
I also
on the day that we heard that, I think I heard this. I might have been on one of your videos, but like that John Tenta's daughter is getting into it.
Yeah, she said that at the Hall of Fame speech. And then she was on the Kelly Clarkson show for some reason and said that she's getting into it.
Yeah, I'd like to know what prompted that. Like, how did that lead to being on the Kelly Clarkson show?
I don't know. I'll have to watch the Kelly Clarkson interview and let you know. I don't know.
We shall see. Steve,
Yeah.
pleasure as always.
Happy Mother's Day, all you bad mothers.
Oh yes. And cheers to all
Steven.
of the mothers out there. Cheers. We love you all.
Moms, aunts, cousins, for moms that should be and will be and can be.
Yeah.
I hope
But-
I covered everybody.
I think you covered a lot.
I feel like I love my mom on Mother's Day. Back to
Mr. T.
Mr. D.
All right, Nikki, we got one more regular on the line.
Yes,
Close
I've
up
been
the
waiting
phone
for that.
lines. Get ready. She is the unofficial winner of Silent Contest, the Nick Club Contest. She's going to be joining us tomorrow at the booth. I am excited because we are going on the road tomorrow and we're bringing one of the regulars along with us. Lisa's joining us at 90s Wrestling Con.
Breaking news?
Not breaking news.
You have the wrong thing up.
Oh, no, get out of here. Breaking news.
We will not release Lisa. We are keeping Lisa.
Lisa, you've not been released. You've
Oh,
not
my
been
dead
there.
body.
There's no future endeavor for you.
Over my dead body.
But yes, she's joining us tomorrow at 90s Wrestling Con. We are super excited to have her. But we need to know, are you a believer?
What up, guys?
Lisa, what's going on? What are you drinking? What are you thinking?
I'm being plain, drinking water.
As per usual.
Yeah. Kind of got a lot of thoughts about Backlash. I mean, I hate to say it, I haven't really been watching Raw because I've been working at night, Monday nights now. So, missing it, but I've been catching up on Instagram, and I'm honestly very excited for Backlash. These matches seem really, really good. Other than, John Cena and Randy Orton. Let's not get into that. But
Be a banger.
did you see my husband? My champ is here. He's sleeping on the floor tonight. But no, I'm very excited for the other matches. I'm just like you, Nicole. I'm very nervous that this is either going to be a pay-per-view where nothing happens during the matches, everything goes smoothly, and there's no returns or anything, or this is going to be a pay-per-view of some happening, return here, this happens here, like every match something's going on. It's like that's what I'm a little nervous about. I don't think Solo's going to do anything during the Fatal 4-Way. If anything, and I was about to type this, I'm like, I'll just say it when I come on. If anything, he may, after the match, come out, do a little celebrating with Jacob, and then pull something.
I can see that. Stealing his glory.
Yeah. That's what I'm seeing. But again, I would rather, because now I guess with Netflix, they're making Raw and SmackDown more pay-per-view like in a way, where the bigger things are happening, bigger matches are happening on these shows, which is good. But at the same time, certain matches maybe should be saved for pay-per-views. But save that for Raw or SmackDown. Save Bayley coming back for, like, try not to squeeze everything into this pay-per-view. But I guess we'll see.
I agree.
Yeah.
Every match can't have a thing and a return. Someone's going to return and someone's going to interfere. You can make that case for every single match, and you can't do that for every single match. Like maybe 2 out of the 5. I just you can't. I don't know. They're trying to shove too much things in. I feel. But what were you gonna say? I didn't mean to cut you off. I lost it.
No, but like you can't. I'm a So like you can't book it like it's like a concert. That's how Triple H and he said it. And I love that. You can't have like you can have 10 singles, but you can't play them one after one because after a while, like I don't care who your favorite band is. If you hear the same single like 5 singles in a row, you're like, all right, I don't really care about X, whatever song that you like. It's all about building up to that, and then it ebbs and flows, and like that's this. It's a show. At the end of the day, this is a show, and that's how you have to run it. You can't have all these surprises, and I think that's the thing that happens with AEW. And I know, Lisa, you're not an AEW fan, but like AEW does that. Their peak was like 3 years ago because they had so many returns. It was like CM Punk, Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan, like all these people kept. And then Adam Copeland was like the latter part of that. But like you bring in all these people and you never knew who would show up. But once they show up, you need a plan once they show up.
There was never a plan.
Yeah. And you have all these stars on the show. And it's almost like the way I could view it is like you've been to a concert festival. Okay, well, I go to see X band and then you're done with that band. And you have to view it like viewing like WrestleMania is a concert festival. So maybe you like Metallica, or maybe you like name X band, but like AC/DC. You want to see that band, but you have to keep it going so that like there's an ebb and flow. Like some bands are a little bit more soft.
You can't listen to 3 screamo bands in a for
it's gonna dilute you
90 minutes.
Yeah.
But that's fingers crossed.
Yeah. The one thing I wouldn't mind seeing, I can't believe I just said that. But I wouldn't mind. I want Pat McAfee to win. Pat is my pick. But I wouldn't mind seeing Gunther winning and attacking Pat McAfee still, like keeping the sleeper on him, and then Goldberg coming out. That I would be okay with, because especially if that's the big thing that they're kind of foreshadowing, I wouldn't mind that. But just don't do it for every single match.
Right. And honestly, to that point, right? Like, and it makes so much sense, like, because, like, it sounds bad, but, like, let's be honest, Pat McAfee is a punter in football. So, like, if you're going to have, you want someone bigger than you, right? Like, same thing in wrestling. It's like the mid-card guy is not going to beat the main event person, even if they're at their best. You need someone that's going to be a main eventer that's going to ascend into being a champion. So, like, it's the same mentality, like, in this. Like, he's not a full-time wrestler, so you're going to have the most well-known ex-football player, wrestler, and most successful, like, him and Roman Reigns are the two most successful, like, in my opinion. So, like, it's kind of a nice arc of, like, he beats Gunther, and then, yeah, the next person to counter the bully is the best that ever did it.
What?
Absolutely.
He's the best, like, the most notable.
No,
Yes.
are you saying that Goldberg is going to beat Gunther?
Yes. Goldberg's going to beat Gunther. When that match happens, Goldberg's beating.
I can take Pat McAfee winning
He
this
beat
through
Bray
and
Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is way more over
Don't
than
get
Gunther.
me fucking started on that.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now,
Don't get me
Goldberg's
fucking-
going to beat Gunther.
Okay.
I'm upsetting her. Lisa, save us.
I literally just had a thought. Oh, Nick, I think it was you, Nick. You mentioned earlier how Gunther, without a title, is not nobody, but they've said it so many times that Gunther has in his career, like 85% of his career, he's had a belt. So him not having a belt and trying to figure out what to do with him is going to be very, very, very interesting. And put him up against McAfee, again, very interesting. And this has been something McAfee's been working toward. He was on the Stephanie McMahon podcasts, I think, or whatever show she's doing.
Her place thing.
Something like that, yeah. And he stated that he, like, this is something he's been working towards. Like, football was just something for him to do. He had a wrestling ring in his, not in his home, but in his, like, backyard or whatever. And he's been working towards this his entire life. So football was kind of the stepping stone. And then when this opportunity finally came, he took it and he ran. Granted, he's more commentary, and he's fucking amazing. But like Logan Paul, he knows the product, he loves it, he respects it, and yeah.
Well, that's all you can expect. Like, that's all I think as fans we all ever want. Like, it's just someone, like, that's what I think a lot of people had problems with Brock Lesnar with. Where it's like you only do it because of the money. Like, same thing with, like, in the early days, like the 90s, like Ultimate Warrior had a lot of those issues. Like, you're doing it for the money. And, like, we don't, like, we as fans know that you're just doing it for money. And, like, people in the industry know that you're just doing it, like, okay, you have a good look and you're just going to job, but you're not a good wrestler. You're not a good person. Like, and it's about the industry as a whole. And I think that's what matters, right? And, like, people see, like, that's why, like, people like Pat McAfee get over. And, like, even, I almost called him Bugs Bunny, Bad Bunny.
Bugs Bunny to be on WWE. Come on.
Yeah, but, like, they're both, well, yeah, Bugs Bunny, I think, was the first Bunny to be on WWE. Yeah. Maybe Sable. I don't know. But
okay, get your shit. I don't know where you're going.
But, like,
again, Bad Bunny was just, again, we had, like, early days, we had Bam Bam and LT, that your first celebrity match, that someone that came in and, like, kind of gave a shit. And then we went through this whole fucking run of, like, Snooki being as I have my Snooki poof. Didn't give a shit, didn't know anything. Maria Menounos, kind of in the middle. Like, but having Bad Bunny and Logan Paul And now it's just like people that actually respect and respecting this is a craft, this is an industry that means so much to people, and then paying the respect.
Exactly.
So again, I don't. But it's still a weird pairing to me. That again, this match is too early. Choke him out at SummerSlam, right off to College Game Day. But if it's this early, I think Pat's gonna pull some shit out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I can't wait to tell you I went 5-0 on Monday.
Unbelievable. Lisa, before we let you go, I know we're going to see you tomorrow, but what is your last shot?
John Cena is not my champion. Yeah, that's really about it. I can't wait to hang out tomorrow, and if I get to shake Eric Bischoff's hand, I can die happy.
You gotta make that happen, babe.
Yeah, Lisa, tomorrow you're gonna make that happen. 90s Wrestling Con, our regular Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour is gonna be there. Our OG from the start is joining us. Lisa is subbing in as Nikki is taking care of her babies tomorrow, getting them all situated because we have a wedding to go to and a lot of things, Mother's Day weekend. So, Lisa,
Yes, and happy Mother's Day to all the mommies, aunties, godmothers, fur mamas, car mamas, whatever capacity you are a mom. Happy Mother's Day, and thank you for all you do.
well done.
Love you, Lise. More than words. Oh, you just took her away from me.
No, yeah, took her away. Well, because it's
Oh,
Lisa.
what, Lisa?
You made me a believer, believer. You break me down, you build me a believer,
Lisa, and now I have to change her intro because she's coming out with a third book.
Oh my god, we're gonna make like 4, 5, 6, 7.
Everyone here, Lisa, Ed changing his new slogan to Hulk Hogan sucks.
I think that's our whole collective slogan is Hulk Hogan sucks.
We have a lot to get through, but it's been a blast. We are back here, so the official next show, the Nick Club next show.
Yeah, officially, yes.
Is Monday at 5:30 Eastern Time. So, what is that? 2.5 hours before Raw.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to recap WWE Backlash, what happened, any title changes, any big moments, any alliances, debuts, return.
Our Big Nick energy moment. So get ready to tell us your Big Nick energy moment.
Yes, Big Nick Energy. That comes back. We got a lot to get through, so we're excited. Tomorrow there will be, turn on your notifications. We haven't done that enough. And make sure you hit the old like and subscribe. But turn on your notifications because tomorrow we might do a pop-up show sometime between 10 and 1 Eastern Time. Who knows? As we are at the 90s Wrestling Con.
Mm-hmm.
So it may be me, Nikki may chime in. It might be a quick pop-up. We're doing a bunch of giveaways. We're doing a bunch of things. So if you're in the area for 90s Wrestling Con, come meet up with the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. Our regular Lisa is joining us there, helping us with the table. It's going to be a fun time. So we're excited. Thank you in advance. But Nikki, we always like to get out of here with our not-so-CCO. And let Triple H take us out.
Thought we had a spectacular event tonight. Very excited that so far everybody seems to have come out unscathed. You know, banged up, bumps and bruises, but nobody seriously injured, which I always hold my breath on these events. You want to see people have the best outing that they can possibly have and make memories, but do it safely. And we were able to do that tonight.
Doing it tonight, Nikki. And tomorrow night.
Yep.
But we will see you back here Monday night at 5:30 Eastern time. Lisa, we love you as well. As always. But until next time, get yourself a drink and snack as SmackDown goes live. You do not have to go home.
But you can stay here. Bye, my baby.